bring in NewsNation military contributor, retired Army Lieutenant General Richard Newton. General, it's good to see you. Thank you. Take me through this, right? Either the U.S. knows a lot more than it's saying, or we are just as sort of confused about what's going on in Russia as the Russians appear to be.
Well, good afternoon, Leland. It's probably a combination of both. I think what happened on Saturday surprised certainly Putin's intelligence. His intelligence folks might have also taken a little bit of the United States and NATO intelligence by surprise. But nonetheless, Prigozhin is on the road and, 2 hours outside of Moscow on Saturday afternoon. He sees that the Russian military is not supporting him. He sees that the political elites inside of Russia are not supporting him, and he calls it off. And so meanwhile, my sources tell me that Putin had already left Moscow and was headed in St. Petersburg. We don't even know where Prigozhin is right now. So there's, as Scott alluded to, there's a lot of deception going on, a lot of unknowns. Yeah. And so my number one concern, and Scott made a key point here, Russia has the largest nuclear arsenal of any nation in the world. My first concern was, when I got wind of this on Saturday morning, my first thought was the nuclear weapons, especially the tactical nuclear weapons. But nonetheless, I think this is still going to have to play out for the next 24 to 96 hours, perhaps longer. Last point, if I may, Russian forces are still engaged, engaged in Ukraine. And so that war slogs on. And meanwhile, the United States, I believe, might have missed an opportunity here if we'd provided them the Army Tactical Missile System or the F-16s and so forth, which is a key opportunity here, may be lost to help Ukraine and perhaps President Zelensky move this counteroffensive forward.
Yeah, had they had those weapons in hand at this sort of crisis moment in Russia, the Ukrainians could have taken advantage of it. I'll make one last point. Lieutenant General from the United States Air Force, not Army. I apologize for the script error earlier.
Well, he's on a boat. It would be understandable that it would be confusing. He's got his branches all mixed up here.
And he didn't correct you either, by the way.
I just want to make sure we get it right.
My dad went to West Point. I went to the Air Force Academy, so we're all good.
We're not getting involved in family disputes here. Last point, and this goes back to this issue of the nuclear weapons. How good is our visibility right now into what's happening in Russia, into the movement of nuclear weapons? And you think about it, all it takes, I mean, just look at the movie Crimson Tide. All it takes is one general who controls a nuclear base to defect over or to get crossways and feel like he has a way to kick out the equivalent of the Russian chairman of the Joint Chiefs or Secretary of Defense, whatever, and things totally change, do they not?
They would, but that's a little bit on the Hollywood side, if I may. When I ran global operations or oversaw global on the Joint Chiefs several years or so ago, one of my responsibilities was overseeing the National Military Command and Control and so forth. And at least from that position, but certainly from my confidence in the Pentagon and certainly those who are serving on the Joint Staff right now, I've got really strong confidence of our ability to not only understand, but take a very good look in terms of the status of Russian forces. You'll note that John Kirby made a statement earlier today, and I think it was a good one, saying that, the United States has not changed its position in terms of nuclear forces, nor have we put ourselves in a position where we think Russia has done the same. And so I think that status quo is going to continue, but we're watching it very, very closely. That's why I say the next 24 to 96 hours, especially with those nuclear weapons, have to be watched very closely, Leland.
All right, General. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.